I want to now turn to conservative lawyer George Conway. George, thank you for joining us here tonight. We were just discussing this issue of whether Trump's explanations are believable. I want to play here what former Governor Chris Christie had to say about that.
He's getting cornered and he'll lie about anything. I think the latest lie is the one that he said just yesterday, right? Where he said, I wasn't really showing them anything, it was just bravado. He was essentially saying he was lying to the people he was sitting with, Mark Meadows, biographers, and his own staff. But let me tell you something, that's what he does. He admitted he had the documents, he knew about the grand jury subpoena, but he was too busy to go through the boxes to see what was classified and what wasn't. And he didn't want to just turn the boxes over because he had golf shirts and golf pants in there. I mean, come on. There's nobody in America who believes that story.
So, George, I assume all these public statements are potentially admissible in court.
They're all
How much do they matter?
They matter a lot because he's lying about everything. I mean, we all know, we've had experiences when, people have been caught with their hands in the cookie jar and dealing with people who are telling lies and making up stories. Nothing like this. He's just not very good at it. But he is a pathological liar. He will say anything that comes to his head at a given moment to convince somebody that, to divert attention and to convince somebody that some accusation against him is untrue. But the problem is he has no defense. We've been watching this now since last August, and they have yet to come up with a coherent, factual, or legal defense to these charges. And the reason is because he did it. He did it, and it was illegal. And there is just no argument that he has. And that's why you see him cycling and flailing about and going from saying that, oh, the FBI planted the documents. We don't know if they really did the documents. I was entitled to the documents. I didn't have any documents. Literally, there is no lie that I think he's run out of lies. With the last one, when he's saying that these were plans for a golf course or something like that. I mean, I guess the Pentagon does own some golf courses somewhere, but yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, that's not what he was talking about, and we heard the tape.
We will find out if there are more explanations to come for sure. But on the special counsel investigation into January 6th, what does it say to you that Brad Raffensperger was brought in to testify today?
Well, again, I think that Georgia is going to be one threat. It's a very complicated case, which is why I think, as Gloria just pointed out a couple of minutes ago, it's why I think the special counsel proceeded with the documents case, which is just a single timeline, whereas is multiple timelines of people doing various things, and Trump being involved basically everywhere, trying to get the vice president to violate the law, trying to create slates of fake electors, trying to persuade the Secretary of State in Georgia, Raffensperger, and people in Michigan and other states to try to, and the litigation. It's just very, very complex. But, the Raffensperger thing is really significant because, there's the tape. And putting Raffensperger on to explain the context of how the tape came about is very, very important. And when you combine, yes.
Do you think the tape alone, though, is enough to substantiate some kind of charge here when it comes to Trump?
I don't know that it's enough, but you have to remember, it's pretty significant. He's basically asking for one more vote than he needs to win the election. He's not asking for an actual count. It's not a legitimate count. He's just basically asking somebody to fix the results. But you have to view that in the context of all the evidence that we've seen so far that came out, especially during the January 6th committee hearings in the House, and how basically everybody told him, everybody with any sense, lawyers in the government, lawyers outside the government, his own attorney general, his own staff, and everybody was telling him, "You lost, buddy. You lost." Right. And so that's the context.
He was pushing all of this anyway. So George, also today, if there weren't enough legal dealings having to do with former President Trump, he is countersuing.
It's only going to be more.
Writer E. Jean Carroll for defamation after a jury found that he was liable for sexual assault and that he defamed her. So it's important to point out here that Carroll testified that a conversation with you in 2019 led her to seriously consider suing Trump. But Do you think that Trump has a case here, a counter case, to sue her for defamation?
It is the most ridiculous thing. I mean, and we've seen so much that's ridiculous. This is one of the more ridiculous things we've ever seen. Because the fact of the matter is, the jury found that he sexually molested Jean. And that, whether it's technically rape under New York law or not, which is, it would be rape in many other states, what the jury found that she did. And they did, and the jury didn't, what he did, but the jury didn't find that she was not raped. They just simply said, we find that it was sufficient for purposes of the verdict that they find that she was sexually molested. In a very, very almost in an unspeakable fashion. So it's completely, any libel case that he seeks to bring based upon the proposition that he didn't commit technical rape under New York law it's just ridiculous. And I think what we're going to see is Alina Habba, who filed this thing. Joe Tacopina didn't dare file this. I think she's going to get sanctioned like she did in Florida by the judge in Florida in that case involving the DNC.
It's interesting. So we'll be watching that as well. George Conway, thank you as always.
Thank you.